Jeffrey Nero Hardy against all odds. He is still breathing. He is still fighting. He is still kicking. And he's back to do it in TNA. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Jeff Hardy is back in TNA for, I believe, the third time, maybe fourth time, actually. It might be fourth time. This guy has left TNA, joined TNA, rejoined TNA, left TNA again. It's been a crazy cycle for Jeff Hardy. He's had about 4 stints in TNA. He's had about 4 stints in WWE, and every single one of those stints was better than that run in AEW, that absolute horror show that he had in Not So All Elite Wrestling. But yeah, there was rumours that Jeff Hardy was going to appear at TNA against all odds tonight. His AEW contract expired, so people were hopeful. I think Fightful Select reported that he was going to appear tonight at Against All Odds. Now, I didn't know for sure, so didn't want to make a video on it, but yeah, Jeff Hardy is in TNA live in the flesh. He came out tonight. He also had his old Hardy Boy music. Now, it sounded like the one he used to use in WWE. Now, obviously, in the past, he's had a different theme in TNA. Now, the fact that WWE and TNA are working together, they seem to have some sort of relationship going. Tatum Paxley was also on this show. Does that mean that WWE guys that are in TNA can now use their WWE theme songs? Is that copyright thing no longer an issue? Plus, I think Triple H would be a lot less lenient on that than McMahon. Not that McMahon would probably be working with TNA anyway. But yeah, so it seems like we had the old WWE style Jeff Hardy music. He comes down to the ring with a steel chair. Couple of fat chicks in the front row marking out for Jeff Hardy, but it's a cool moment, so, you know, let it pass. Jeff Hardy comes out, steel chair, takes out Moose and whatever Moose's faction is called. There was a woman in the ring, I think it's Alicia Edwards, so she jumped out because, again, you can't get any sort of male on female filing, so she had to just quickly make her way out the ring. Jeff Hardy took care of all the dudes. He had a steel chair that was painted with his art design and all that stuff, so pretty cool. I mean, I think Jeff Hardy looked alright. He was moving decently. I mean, the guy did look a little bit stoned or something, but, I mean, it's Jeff Hardy, for God's sake. I'd be surprised if he looked like 100% sober, but in terms of his movement, I thought he looked good. Came in, did a few chair swings, did a chair shot, took out Moose with a twist of fate. Matt Hardy also got a twist of fate in there. You had Joe Hendry in the ring. I'm not sure what match was going on, but you had Joe Hendry in there. You'd Matt Hardy in there. You'd some woman with blue hair that Matt Hardy had his arm around. I don't think it was Rebby Hardy, so fuck knows who that was. I don't know if Matt's going to be in trouble for that. You had the Nemeth brothers in there. It just doesn't look. It's not a good look for Dolph Ziggler. If he wants to help get his brother over, then great. But I mean, to leave WWE, go to TNA, and just be teaming up with your brother that could never make it before. I don't know, it's a bit of a cheap look, but Hardy comes in, hits the swanton on Moose, and then the Hardys celebrate in the ring. So I don't know what was going down here. Was it some big multi-man match? Fuck knows. I don't really care. It's TNA. But I tell you what, I think I need to restart watching TNA. We said at the start of the year we were going to give TNA a go. We were going to start watching TNA, and we did. We held our word. We were watching TNA. I think we watched it for like the first 6 weeks of the year. But then I was just like, you know what? We're watching too much wrestling here. We're going to have to drop TNA. But I mean, TNA, I think you've got Joe Hendry now regularly featured on TNA. You've got Dolph Ziggler, who also went to TNA. Matt Hardy recently returned to TNA, I think, in like March, April. And now you've got Jeff Hardy. I think TNA needs to get rewatched, man. I'm telling you, I think TNA from next week. Yes. I don't know if I hope next week's hasn't been taped. Because if next week's has been taped, then that means we're not going to get Jeff Hardy. I hope next week's TNA has not been taped. But we're going to watch it anyway. Screw it. I think TNA Impact, it will never die. Let's be honest. This company is going to just hang around like a bad smell. This company will outlive AEW. Guarantee it. This company will probably outlive us. This channel. we'll all be dead, and TNA will still be breathing barely. But anyway, look, Jeff Hardy's back in TNA. I think it's a good move. You look at Jeff Hardy's career, I think you take TNA away from Jeff Hardy, and it really does damage the guy's career. I know he got over in WWE. I know he's got so many great moments, high-flying, death-defying moves and whatever, and stunts and moments in WWE. The Hardy Boys, the TLC matches, his match against The Undertaker. He's got a lot of good stuff in WWE, but he did have some really good moments in TNA as well. His first stint, he was in some crazy monster ball matches. He had a big feud with Abyss. He did some decent stuff in there. But his second stint, where he was actually the world champion, he was part of Immortal. He came out with the own Jeff Hardy design belt, and he did this at a time when not everybody had like a design. I know John Cena had the spinner belt, but back then not everybody had their own unique belt, and when Jeff Hardy brought out that world title belt, that purple belt, it actually looked really fucking cool. And yeah, Jeff Hardy had some really, good moments in TNA at that period. Unfortunately, at Justice, Hard Justice, we know what happened with him and Sting. That was a bit of a bummer. Jeff Hardy got intoxicated or whatever, wasn't able to wrestle. It was a bit of a stinker of a match. Disaster, to be honest. But it kind of summed up TNA. And then obviously he came back later and he did some of the broken Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero stuff. And I think there's definitely room for one last good Hardy run, whether it be as single guys, whether it be as a tag team. I'm just happy to see the Hardys back in TNA and being used properly, because these guys are getting old, they haven't got a lot left. Hopefully AEW padded their bank accounts, hopefully that little run in AEW, netted these guys a lot of money, because I think they deserve money. I think they deserve to be financially well off for everything they've done in the wrestling business. But it would be nice to see them go out on a high and see them go out doing some good stuff and not just be, jobber characters, not just be guys that have to put over unsafe fucking workers in AEW. So I hope that the Hardys do a one last good run here in TNA, and I'm going to be watching it, guys. So yeah, we've got Matt Hardy back in TNA, we've got Jeff Hardy back in TNA. It's what a crazy time, and I wouldn't rule out a WWE appearance either. Now that we have WWE and TNA working together, who's to say we won't have one of the Hardy Boys, if not both the Hardy Boys, as a tag team back in WWE? It could happen. I mean, I'm not totally convinced. WWE seem to be getting away with the older, out of shape guys that can no longer go, but I mean, for a one-off appearance, who would say no to the Hardy Boys? I certainly would not. Anyway, guys, that's it. Fog Wrestling. Jeff Hardy is back. And, yeah, delighted to see it. Till next time, I'll be tuning in and I'll be checking out TNA on Thursday night. Till next time, peace.